Hi there, Celine here, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking to a very interesting guest, but before I introduce her, for anyone who's new to my channel, I just want to share that my work, my passion, my writing, I'm the author of 2 books, is all about helping people see beyond the challenges in their lives. One of mine was cancer. To see beyond it, to move beyond it, to learn the lessons, to understand and look into the deeper messages that challenges have for us, and to go on armed with that knowledge and live life at your highest potential. And as part of doing that, what I have really seen in my own life is that we have so much knowledge and wisdom available to us through nature and our surroundings and all of the universe, because that is what we are. So that's a passion for me, to really learn more and step into those gifts, which are our birthright. And once we begin to see that, I really believe, we can fly high, because we are such powerful creators, and we are here to remember that and to be that. So without further ado, so today I'm joined by the wonderful Tanya Jokic. Am I right in saying Jokic? Yes. Who's an artist, as I understand, a healer and an astrologer. But today we're going to talk to her in terms of astrology, and specifically the moon. I have a great interest and want to learn more, and as well. And so she's going to talk to us about the moon, the cycles, what it represents, how it can affect us, and how we can use it to improve our lives. And then at the end of our chat, there's a very special offer that Tanya has that I'm delighted to be involved with, to share with the viewers, and she'll tell you about. So that then. So hello, Tanya. Delighted to talk to you today. How are you?
Hi, Celine. Thanks for having me on your platform. I'm great, thanks. I've survived the new moon in Gemini.
Yes, I was thinking that. Any wisdom on that you'd like to share with us as we move through it?
Well, I'll just tell you a few basic things. I mean, I've just done the video on Gemini in my channel, and okay. In case you haven't communicated, or you've just found that no one's communicating as they should, as you think they should, or you just can't get through to someone, it's usually because of that, because there was just very strong new moon energies, and Gemini is all about talking, communicating, yeah, a bit of business, and but back to kind of texting and emailing and short distance travel. But for me, it was mainly about, communication. It's just like, I would go like, oh my God, what's wrong with people? Can't they just like answer, basic stuff? But that's what it is in short. That was over the weekend.
Okay. Yeah. So we're doing well to be having a conversation today then. While we're still in the energies. Yay!
Yes, it's moving on. You see, every new moon on the day that it happens, regardless of the sign that it's in, it kind of kicks in with very strong energies, and then also with the qualities of that sign. So you will always notice, if you really pay attention, you will notice something is out of balance, in that area of your life. And so like for Gemini, it's about communication or traveling, and it also Mercury, the ruler of the new moon, is retrograde. So, I had clients saying, I've just had a car accident, or, I can't get through to things. I have to keep repeating things a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, it's more challenging times we live in.
Sure is. But it helps to learn, and that's why I find this such an interesting conversation to have with you. Can you just talk a little bit about the moon and what it represents in our lives, and and sort of the cycles, and so that we can, for anyone maybe watching who is totally new to, because I think a lot of the time when I talk to people, because I'm passionate about it, it can often seem as, oh yeah, that's fine, but it's not having a real impact when it is. So yeah, I'd love to hear
It is. It is. See, the basics about, I always go back to basics in astrology when I want to even introduce people to just, you know, what the moon is or the sun or other planets. And also when I want to talk about more complex things, I really always go back to basics, because when you, it's like with everything in life, you know, you want to learn things, you go back to the basics, learn the basics of cooking in order to progress. So the moon is, the main things I always tell about the moon, it's feminine energy, it's the water element, it's negative polarity. So all the opposites are the sun, you know, the positive and, you know, masculine and fire element in the sun. The moon is it's all about emotions and intuition and following in intuition, but also dealing with all the emotions we carry. Yeah. Think about the water. I mean, we are 70, 80, 90% at least water. And this is why the moon can easily influence our body and the changes in our body. So because moon travels through each sign of the zodiac, and it's, you know, it does the whole circle in 28 and a half, 29 days. Hence, in some cultures, the month is called moon, because that's how long it takes to go through the zodiac sign. So it changes sign every 2 to 3 days. It really can affect us as it goes through the signs, because all our signs are in the body. So from Aries to the feet in Pisces. So when you start kind of noticing the moon in the sky and notice it changes in you, I mean, this takes ages. I'm not saying that you're going to wake up one day and know, oh, there's the moon, I know now everything about me. It took me 20 plus years to actually notice few basic things about the body and the hair and changes when I, you know, looked at the moon. But when I started studying, I noticed how moon is affecting everyone. I mean, a long time ago, I read that the police in London, I think it was in London, was aware of the full moon and the energies that would bring, and that would make people go a bit more, you know, party a bit too much, you know, going more people out on the street, and they would get their numbers, the police officers, up as well on the weekend of the full moon. No wonder we call, you know, the moon is called also Lunar in many other languages, and then, you know, in English we use the word lunatic. To show when people go a little bit, what we think it's mad, because, you know, you're kind of reacting to the energy of the moon. So the big energy, the full moon in the sky will always show us where we stuck and where we need to kind of, I would say, let go of something usually. Okay. You know, the full moon in the night skies, it's the light shining on that, again, on the area of life. So if it's a next one coming up, full moon in Sagittarius. So it's about like your perception of life, your I would say all about spirituality, religion, yes, foreign cultures and foreign languages and all of that, but higher education. But I feel it more at this time, it's about how we look at life. What's our philosophy? Are we ready to change some beliefs about ourselves and the life we live? So the full moon coming up, you know, in mid-June will be showing us that. And then it's up to us to kind of go and say, okay, what beliefs, you know, where am I stuck? What do I need to change? What do I want to change? What do I need to change? What would really be good for me to change? You know, I'm not saying I'm going to change anything, but when you start asking yourself, you're going to start the ball rolling really. Yes. And then maybe the next month, you know, and then it's going to be full moon in Capricorn, you're going to have different things to deal with. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's, and that phase, you know, of the growing moon, of the waxing coming to the full moon, it's giving us more energy to deal with stuff to kind of getting us ready.
Okay.
And then once it passes, it goes into the waning phase, and it's going into the invisible, the new moon.
Okay. Yes.
And then it's, you know, it's about time again to there's so many things you can do. So
I know.
We keep,
yeah.
But yeah.
But even for today, because we're going to move on and maybe talk about your calendar, but would I be right in saying it just very simply, because I was reading a little bit about it, and just trying to keep it, as you said, in basics, that the waxing stage of the moon after the new moon is like energizing and sort of filling up nearly something or an idea, and maybe after the full moon is sort of better for detoxification and in a very simple, now I know there's more to it than that, but just for my little simple mind to keep it just even to keep that in mind, would that be sort of a correct or sort of a good enough assessment?
Yeah, totally. You got it right.
Okay.
I'll just add that from now, so yesterday we had a new moon. We have around 2 weeks until the full moon, and it is energizing. We can also build up muscles, for example, in the body more easier. Okay. We can take more supplements. They will do the job better because we are growing on every level. But I'm just talking about physical stuff. And then after the full moon, we have waning phase until the new moon.
Yes.
And then we can detox. Definitely, if you want to start any, I don't know, weight loss program or anything and test things, that is the good time. Those 2 weeks is the time for letting go of things, not just mentally, but also physically. So the detox is really a good period. It's those 2 weeks after the full moon, because I've noticed that, you know, just before the full moon, I want to eat more. Not every full moon, but, you know, most of it. You just want to take more. You want to get in stuff. So one of the stuff is food. And when it comes to new moon, you know, occasionally I will also react in that way, but it's not the same. It's you know, for many people, it's the opposite. And also the new moon, when it comes to it, it affects the psyche more than as opposed to full moon affecting the body. You can feel it, right? But the new moon affects the psyche, and lots of people that I know, lots of my clients have issues with, you know, something happening, and they're having more arguments during the, you know, new moon. Yeah, because it's hidden and it's hard to deal with things, and our psyche is hidden. You can't, you know, you can't touch it. With the body, it's easier. You know, full moon, you feel the body and you kind of, you know, get on with it.
Yes. And is it correct to say that the new moon is around intentions and what we want? I often hear people talking about that. Is that a key?
Yes.
Around the new
yes. Moon? The time of the new moon, and then, you know, on the day of the new moon, after the actual new moon took place, you have to look at the exact day, time, and minute. It helps. And then you can sit down kind of and put your intentions for that month, because that is the start of the new cycle. From new to old, or new to full in this case. Yes. So you can start, but it helps when you know a little bit about, you know, what sign the moon is in. So we just had Gemini, so you want to do a bit more, anything to do with communication, short distance travel and business.
Yes.
And brothers and sisters kind of relationships and that kind of thing. And then it also helps if you know where it is in your birth chart. So you look at the house that it's, you know,
yes,
the new.
I was going to say that. That might be a topic for another
yes, we can come back to that.
Because I sort of, I can see that. So maybe we'll just move on. We're sort of, not say tight on time, but we'd love to share about your calendar, because I think it really nicely fits in, and I have a copy of it myself, and I already have my next haircut booked. So maybe just for anyone who's listening, and just to explain how we can use those cycles, the waning and the waxing, to really improve our health and our life, and our hair and our body. Love to, if you'd share that.
As I already mentioned, you know, from the full moon to the new moon, it's a good detox time. I also put down, I think, and I keep forgetting, there are so many things in my head, so many projects. But I do have a smaller calendar with the detox times and the visits to the dentist, because I had great experience of doing, you know, major dental work and looking for the new moon, making sure I don't, you know, bleed too much. And there's, you know, my dentist was just surprised. She couldn't believe it. It was like, what is going on? But coming back to the body and the hair.
Yes.
That's something I've been doing for over 20 years, you know, intuitively. Obviously, I'm very connected to the moon. I didn't know back then, but I used to cut my hair intuitively and always noticed that, you know, I'm cutting it just before the full moon, and there's always full moon in the sky, what's going on. And then I started following and learning and studying astrology in the end. And I noticed I'm not the only one. Everyone who knows something about the old wisdom and the moon, like the farmers who use their, you know, farming almanacs.
Yeah, I found that very interesting. Sorry, just for anyone as well. I think this is all a little bit airy-fairy out there. When you start to look at, I think it goes back to 1792 or something, is it the old?
Yeah, 18th century, yeah.
And so that they were using that successfully. It's something that's really come to me, is that a lot of this ancient wisdom and knowledge has sort of been kept from us, or, you know, we haven't been, maybe it hasn't been as openly shared, and I think we're returning to it. But I mean, for anyone who doubts the power of an influence of the moon, I mean, that's just phenomenal, you know, that the farmers used it, wasn't it, in America to
I mean, all over the world. I got introduced to the almanac in Croatia when I was living there and volunteering for the, you know, NGO in that was helping farmers with the land, literally organic farming, and they were buying almanacs. I had no idea what it was. I started getting into it, and as I said, over time I realized that, hold on, I'm doing everything with my hair with a full moon and it's growing like crazy. Why don't I just try? And that's in a waxing phase. I came to a point where I then realized, hold on, I can do the hair removal in the waning phase. Let's test that. Let's try it. So, you know, like a couple of years in, my beautician had nothing to do. She was like, please don't come back to me. Don't come that often, because when the moon is waning, when it's disappearing in the sky, it helps to get rid of the stuff that we don't want to grow back that quickly, which is the hair usually. So in the calendar, which I made last year, I started really, you know, putting it together last year, because my friends were just on my every month texting and asking, you know, where can I do my hair? Where can I do my nails? Where can I do, you know, my eyebrows? Where can I cut hair? Where can I get rid of the hair? So I would just text them. And then, you know, after few years really of doing that, I realized, hold on, I really can put this somewhere somehow and give it to them, so they don't have to text me every month. And I realized that because I know how much influence the moon does on our body, I studied also astrology. I use it in healing. I've read so many books with the old wisdom that you said that it's been kept hidden from us. I went intuitively through that journey and then came out with a calendar with the, you know, the best days for the haircut, if you want your hair really on the head, I mean, or for the men on the beard. If you want it to grow back better, faster, and, you know, stronger, then you use those days. Although I do have few women who say, oh, I have too much hair, I'll use the opposite.
Not my problem.
You know? And I'm like, okay. So it really helps, you know, there's so many women this last 2 years losing hair, having a post-illness, post-virus kind of symptoms are usually hair loss. And I would say, do whatever you're doing. Like, you know, if you're taking supplements, continue. But there's this one thing you can just add to your routine. Just look for the best date to go and cut your hair and do the trim. Do it every month, do every 2 months. It depends how, you know, how often you can, you know, make it to the hairdresser or do it yourself. It really doesn't matter.
So the calendar, sorry, can I ask you, just includes about hair. So just for anyone, we're going to put a link in the bottom of this video at the end. And a really fantastic thing is that Tanya is giving away 20% discount on this hair and body calendar for anyone. So I definitely we'll come back to that, but definitely recommend you take a look at that. But also, so you pair in terms of growth and removal, and then other body.
I've added, and because always I've been doing that kind of thing and doing the massage when finding the best days for the massage, for the whole body massage, and then also separately for the reflexology, because the feet, you have to look at the moon in certain sign, and you want to kind of benefit as much as possible. And also body scrub. I mean, I'm not saying this is like for everyone to follow strictly.
But it has
but it does help, and over long term, especially with the hair removal, that is something that everyone will react over time. It will take some time differently, different period for different people. But if I knew this when I was a teenager, the amount of money I would have saved and time, and just stress over, going for, on a regular basis. So when you follow the waning phase dates for the hair removal, I'm telling you, once a month is enough. Although I do have still friends who kind of resist, but they realize that there's no joking with the moon. Really, it helps. You just have to follow and stick to the
and it's
routine.
coming around every month. So
exactly, it's like
not this month, next month. It's an inevitability. So, and I think
the thing is, with time, you just kind of, when you really go for those days, because I've been doing that for over 20 plus years. I'm trying to remember, not yet 25, probably, it's around that time, and I can skip months now for hair removal. So I can see it, but I can allow myself to make, go on a off day, kind of do it if I had to, because then I know what's the best day for the following month to do it again.
And isn't the big thing in all of this, I find as well, like you said, I mean, we're not saying it's the be all and end all, but it's, anything that we can do. I'm a big believer in sort of tuning into the more natural cycles and rhythms of the universe and nature and life, because that is what we are part of. So it's sort of coming back into that harmony and using it to improve our lives. So, I mean, the calendar, to me, I haven't seen anything like it. It's great value. It's something to add into your, let's say, well-being routine. And I think, for anyone watching here, I'm going to include at the end of in the description box, a link to check it out, and also a link to Tanya's channel, so that you can find out more about the moon, astrology, and the work that she does, because it really is, I think the more that we can do this is about coming back into our true power. This is our birthright, all of this knowledge and this wisdom. And I feel such a passion. It's just like I was just saying in another video, I just after coming back from climbing a mountain, and even tuning into nature when I was on that walk was incredible. And actually the shape, I'm going off a little bit, but the shape of the mountain is a pyramid. It actually is a pyramid, I noticed as I approached it. And I just felt and this is really like you were talking there, Tanya, about, in tuning back into our intuitive wisdom and guidance. We have that, but here's another support, which is astrology and the moon. So, and
it's
any final parting words before we wisdom around the moon and the
there's so much. I mean, I'm in the process of creating more things to do with the moon to help people learn how the moon affects the body when it's in different, sign, and on a different new moon or a full moon. More products coming out, more courses, really to help people learn that why we're reacting to external when it's actually really, inside of us, but to learn to live more in sync with nature.
Yeah, exactly. And I know you have a free guide that if people go to your channel, they'll see, because I found the language of it and everything. I think that's a lot. There's so many books and so many things, but to get the information that really is useful in your day-to-day life. So simple.
I do, sorry. Lunar phase is free, free guide to secrets of the moon. I put together just to show people how we are affected, and it's just a short story a short PDF to read when you subscribe to my email list. You'll find the links on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, perfect. Great. I'll add them below. And for anyone as well who wants to get in touch with me, my work, my books, there's also links below. And I think what's wonderful about all of these conversations and interviews, I think with the like-minded people, is we're all really coming from the same place of trying to, but sort of stepping into our true power, living a sovereign life, free, and really in tune with nature. And we're all coming at it from a different perspective with different wisdom and skills and gifts to offer. So we look forward to talking to you again, Tanya, and thank you so much. And as I said, please like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and check out the links for Tanya in the description box below. So take care.
Thank you.
And thank you, Tanya, so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.